So, I'm in a new place and I haven't uploaded a video in a while, and we need to talk about that. So, sorry about the background, it's a bit messy right now. I'm still not entirely done unpacking, but I bought a new house with my wife, and I like the house. I'm in a different town than I used to be in, and honestly, it's a lot more square footage than my last house. But it's been an exhausting experience, and I wanted to talk about that. So, this was a much more expensive house than my last one, and I've been having to tell myself over and over again that I can at least afford it. That's not an issue. But a lot of stuff didn't get brought up about this house, and that's what I wanted to take a moment to talk about. So let's go back in time a little bit. I started looking at houses months ago before my wife and I got married in April, and a lot of them just didn't have what we wanted. And to be honest, this house checked a lot of boxes. My wife wanted a basement in case of tornadoes. We live in Ohio. Tornadoes can be an actual threat. We wanted carpet because my last house was completely hardwood. So there is a decent amount of carpet in this house, especially in the upstairs bedrooms and everything. We wanted two bedrooms. I wanted a place for my setup, which is this room. And we wanted enough space for cats. We wanted a good kitchen. And we wanted a decent neighborhood. This house checks all of those boxes. A lot of stuff didn't get caught when we were looking at the house. For example, a relatively small one, there's a room behind me with an open door. That's a bathroom. There's not a door in that door frame. This is supposed to be the master bedroom. That's how this house was designed. But they didn't put a door on that bathroom. And I don't love that. I don't like to use that bathroom when there's other people in the house. I don't think our guest will like to use that bathroom when there's other people in the house. This room, I will be recording some new content in that I'm super excited to work on, but it's kind of hard with an open bathroom. So I bought a door. I'm going to learn how to install a door probably in the next week or so to put up back there. And there's a few other problems. So the upstairs bathroom has a shower and bath, but it doesn't have ventilation. What I can tell, the previous owners were probably just opening the window to the bathroom, and I don't necessarily love that. The window is also in the shower, which I bought some like privacy stuff to help handle that, but it does make me feel a little uncomfortable, even considering using that bathroom to take a shower. So, right now, I've been exclusively showering in this bathroom behind me. One of the upstairs bedrooms also has a small walk in closet. In that closet is a door to the attic, like an actual door. It's not a very big door, but it's a door nonetheless. And the basement has some moisture issues. So I knew about that. It came up during the inspection. There is some previous termite damage with a house like this that's pretty expected because this house is about 100 years old. The termites are not active. However, we do have powder post beetles, which is a pain. Now, it gets so much worse, guys. I moved in last Friday. 2 days after that, I had a security company come out to install a security system, and they mentioned that there was water in my basement. My sump pump stopped working, and the basement flooded 2 days into living here. So I replaced the sump pump. But while I was looking at the sump pump, I noticed a shadow in the basement, and I thought, oh, it might be the cat outside walking by the windows to the basement. There is a stray cat that lives outside of this house. And I'm not super fond of the cat. I think it might have given me fleas, so I'm dealing with that right now too. because I have to put some flea treatment stuff in my carpets that I bought today. But nonetheless, I saw this shadow in the basement, and I had heard like a squeaking noise when I had gone down into the basement to look at the sump pump. And all of a sudden, a bat flies directly at me. Um, so there was a bat in my basement, and I rushed out of the basement. Eventually, got the bat outside. The way I did it is I turned off the light to the basement. Bats don't love the light. That might be why he flew out, because it had been dark in there. And then I opened my back door and I turned on the light to the laundry room that the entry to the basement is in. And then just pretty much waited until the bat flew out. The bat wasn't flying out very well. He stayed in the laundry room for a few minutes. That was a little stressful, but eventually the bat left. So I called not exterminator, I guess like a pest control company to come out. The first company I called did not have any availability until next week. The second company I called didn't answer the phone. So, and the mailbox was full, which was a bit odd. I eventually get in touch with a company. They came out yesterday. They looked in the attic, and there's definitely evidence of bats in there. They did not see a bat, which I find a bit odd, but they said there's definitely evidence. They showed me pictures of bat droppings and pictures of damaged insulation. The guy gave me a quote. So he did bring up the powder post beetles, which I understand is a problem I need to have dealt with. But I got a quote from the inspection company that did my inspection for like $400 or $500 to get rid of the powder post beetles. And he quoted me for the bat removal plus the powder post beetles plus some stakes in case the termites come back. He quoted me $24,000. I don't do badly for myself. I'm not going to say I have a lot of money or anything like that, because it's simply not true. But $24,000 is a little bit too much for me right now. My wife just got a new car. We just got this house payment, which is a lot more expensive than my last house. So $24,000 is not very doable right now. It would have been like $650, closing in on $700 a month, which is a bit pricey. So he also gave me a quote for just the bat removal. So bat removal includes covering any entrances to the house, getting a bat exclusion point, which is like a exit way that the bats can't fly back into, and then getting rid of all old insulation and putting new insulation in. That came out to about $16,500, about $400 a month, which is still incredibly painful. But I can't live with bats. And I wanted to say why for a second. First, bats carry the chance of rabies. So if you get bitten by a bat, you should probably immediately go to a doctor, go to the emergency room, and get treated for rabies. Rabies is incredibly deadly to humans, so I don't want to be sleeping in a room that is connected to the attic and a bat fly in and bite me. Secondly, my wife and I have cats. She hasn't fully moved in yet, so the cats are still with her right now. But I don't want the bats to be a problem for the cats, especially since one of the cats is a kitten, and I'm a little concerned about him being a little bit too curious about his roommates. So I need to get the bat problem dealt with. which means I need to finance a $16,000 bat removal. My older brother tried to say that we could handle it ourselves. I've Googled it. Not the best idea. First, you need to make sure that you are very thorough, which is why it's good to have an expert come out. They can find all of the entry points, any points of concern, and they can help get rid of that. But also, you have to make sure you're very thorough in removing all of the old insulation. The way that the pest control guy told me is that you really have to make sure that all of that old insulation gets removed because it smells like bats. And the bats are going to want to come to this house if they smell other bats. Also, I don't want to get too close to the bats because of the chance of contracting rabies. I don't want a bat to freak out and bite me. Bats aren't necessarily aggressive creatures, but they do get scared and they can attack when they get scared. So I have spent so much money on this house so far. And I wish I did just have $16,000 to throw at the problem. But sadly, my bank account is not that big. It's not like I have that much extra income laying around. So bills are going to be very tight for a little bit. Hopefully I can get the bat problem dealt with, because I'm going to be completely honest, that bat flew at me and really freaked me out. And I haven't been in the same mindset since. I'm very anxious. I just want to get the bat problem dealt with. So hopefully this can be resolved soon. These guys are professionals. They're coming out in a couple of days for me to sign some paperwork and everything. And hopefully they can get in here pretty quickly, because I don't even want to sleep in my own house right now. The bats are active at night, and it can make it a little bit harder to fall asleep if they're in the room next to mine. And I understand I shouldn't be scared of them. They're not trying to hurt me or anything, but I'm worried they're somehow going to get inside of the house, and I'm going to have to handle that. And I'm going to have to hope that I don't get bitten by one in a moment of panic. I didn't mean this entire video to be about bats. There's other issues too. The back door needs replaced because it is almost an interior door. It's wood, but I would like it to be fiberglass. The garage has one garage door opener, which isn't a huge issue right now. There's two garage doors. So I would like for both of them to have an opener, but that might be a problem I have to deal with later. And then there is a small carpenter ant / carpenter bee problem outside that also needs dealt with. That way it doesn't destroy all of the wood on my back porch and the trees in my backyard. But if you guys did watch this, thank you for watching. I'm sorry for making a video just to complain, but I also wanted to take a moment to explain why I maybe haven't been as active on YouTube in the past week and a half. So thanks for, I guess 2 weeks as of the time this video goes up, but thanks for watching this video. Hopefully this stuff gets resolved soon, because I am excited to live in this house, and I'm excited to start my new life with my wonderful wife. So, and our 2 cats. So thank you guys for watching this. If you did like the video, you can leave a like. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to support the channel a little bit. This is a hobby of mine right now, but I would love to do this stuff more often. It is very hard to juggle with a job and a new house and a new cat and everything like that. Other than that, guys, I hope everybody is having an amazing day. I hope you're having a better day than I am, at least. And until next time, peace.